If I was a tree-dwelling hillbilly, where would I keep my computer parts?
Gotcha, you FizzCo sumbitch.
Hello, welcome to Sunset Overdrive Before the Bell. I've had a couple of sit-downs with Sunset Overdrive, so I'm ready to give my initial thoughts, and it's Before the Bell grading. As always though, I am going to start with my cards on the table. First of all, I am playing this on the Xbox One, as it is an Xbox One exclusive, and I've probably only played about 3.5 hours of the game. Which might not sound a lot, but for me it was just about enough for me to give you this Before the Bell video and also grade it. So let's crack on and see what happens. First of all, Sunset Overdrive is an out and out video game. You might think I'm losing the plot in saying that, but let me explain. When you play a game like The Last of Us, for me the game is actually a vehicle to drive the brilliant narrative that's been written. Yes, there's a game there and there's some fantastic gameplay mechanics for you to play through, but I'd say that more than half the experience is just having that excellent story unfold. What you're getting with Sunset Overdrive is the complete opposite. Now, I can't go into the story and tell you what I think of it because I've not played it anywhere near enough to pass judgment on it, but what is very, very clear is that the story takes a back seat. Entertainment is king here, and it really does rule the roost. It's such a bright, colourful and loud game. The art team have done a terrific job in making Sunset City welcoming and very original. It's a video gamer's playground. You can bounce off cars, grind on telephone wires, blast fire out your hands, wall run, all whilst shooting enemies and blowing them up. It's all here for you, and it's all just driven down this sole route to give you some entertainment and make it fun. The combat is very, very basic though. It's a third-person shooter, but the auto-aiming is very powerful and very easy. You've just got to be within a couple of inches on the screen and it'll probably lock on and start shooting the enemy on target. But for me this is okay, because if it was any more complex than it is, then I think you'd have a bit too much on your plate, because the game actually revolves more around the style in which you kill enemies rather than the amount you rack up. Essentially, the more you grind, the more you bounce and the more you hop whilst killing enemies, the more you are rewarded and the more powerful you become. Stringing together these combos is the best way to increase your style meter, and in turn you're compensated with some upgrades to your weapons and your character as a whole. Speaking of the weapons, there are lots of them and they're pretty wild and wacky. For example, the latest weapon I've unlocked is essentially a grenade launcher. But instead of launching grenades, as a normal one would do, it launches teddy bears strapped with dynamites. Now, I'll leave you to judge whether that's any good or not, but that's what you're dealing with here in Sunset Overdrive. It constantly and shamelessly breaks down the fourth wall, reminding that you're playing a video game. But it's a great change of tone to the ultra sort of realistic games that we get these days. And in having that sort of style and that structure, Sunset Overdrive understands a lot of the frustration that these games have. So you're not going to be forced to replay big chunks of the level again. And when you do die, when you do fail a particular objective, the game pokes fun at you in a light-hearted way that doesn't frustrate you. I like the way that it's set out and the way it's structured. It certainly is a great change and a welcome one as well. But what I don't think is that Sunset Overdrive is going to be everyone's cup of tea, because at the end of the day, it's downright silly and it doesn't resemble anything in the real world, so there's always going to be that type of audience that's going to be turned off. But so far, as an out-and-out video game, it is top-notch. So, Sunset Overdrive's Before the Bell rating is going to be a silver. Watch this space for Sunset Overdrive's official grading, which will be revealed in its After the Bell video. Thanks very much for your time and for watching this. Nothing more for me to say apart from ta-da!
I hate this job.